That's the number of people who have been losing their jobs in tech in 2026. Not per week, not per month, per day. Let that sink in. Now, what makes this different from every other layoff wave that we have seen is that the companies that are doing the layoff, they are not struggling. In fact, the same year Amazon laid off 30,000 people, they also reported a 716 billion revenue. When Microsoft laid off 15,000 people, the stock shot up to an all-time high. So I went through all the data, all the CEO mails and what the analysts are saying. And the story is much bigger than any single company or any single headline. This is the story of how the tech industry broke its own workforce and what it means for everyone who is working in tech and everyone who is planning to do so. Since 2022, there has been at least 800,000 people laid off in tech. 800,000. And depending on how you track it, the number may be even much higher. Let me break it down for you. In 2022, it was 165,000 people. That's when it all started. In 2023, it was 264,000 people. In 2024, it was 153,000 people, and we thought it's gonna end. And in 2025, the number was between 124,000 and 246,000, depending on the tracker. And in 2026, we're on pace for 270,000 people. So the layoffs are not slowing down. In fact, they are accelerating. By Q1 of 2026, there has been already 50,000 people laid off, and that's more than 40% from last year. To understand why this is happening now, we need to zoom out. Each wave was different, and understanding the pattern explains everything that is happening right now. Wave 1 was the dot-com bust from 2000 to 2002. So this was a big one. The Nasdaq peaked at 5048 on March 10, 2000. And then it just collapsed. It fell 78%. $5 trillion in market value just gone. Over 1.16 million tech and telecom workers lost their jobs. Amazon's stock price went from 107 to under $7. And Nasdaq, it took 15 years for it to recover. But there's something that nobody mentions. The crash created the infrastructure. Cheap fiber optics, cheap servers, cheap bandwidth. It enabled Google, Facebook, YouTube, and everything that came after. Wave 2 was the 2008 financial crisis. About 130,000 people lost their jobs in tech. HP cut 24,600 people. Dell did 8,900. And Microsoft did its first ever layoff with 5,000 people. Sequoia Capital had its legendary RIP Good Times meeting, telling all the startups to slash their spending. But tech bounced back this time. By 2010, we were hiring aggressively again. So this is short and survivable. So wave 3 was a post-COVID correction from 2022 to 2024. So this is the one most of us have gone through, right? So during COVID, there was a lot of overhiring, and by 2022, the CEO started realizing that they had in fact overhired. So Meta cut 21,000, Amazon did 27,000, and Google did 12,000. And every CEO said the same thing. I overhired, my fault. And now the wave 4, 2025 to now, the AI restructuring. So this one is fundamentally different. The companies are not correcting any mistake. They're making an explicit choice to replace humans with AI. This has never happened before in tech at this scale. To understand why the layoffs are happening now, we need to understand the hiring binge that came before it. So when COVID hit in March 2020, the travel tech was destroyed. Uber cut 6,700 people, which is about 25% of its entire workforce. Airbnb cut 1,900. Lyft cut 1,000. Over 47,000 startup workers lost their jobs by May. But then something happened which made every CEO in Silicon Valley believe that the internet boom was gonna stay forever. Everyone went online, and remote work exploded. E-commerce spiked, digital ad spending was all-time high, and tech companies went on the biggest hiring spree in the entire history. So look at these numbers. Amazon went from 800,000 in 2019 to 1.6 million in 2021. Meta went from 35,000 to 86,000. Google went from 133,000 to 190,000. Microsoft also added 77,000 people to their workforce. Tech job openings peaked in early 2022. And even new grads were getting offered six-figure joining bonuses. And people are getting 3, 4, 5 competing offers. This was the era we were referring as the Great Resignation. The music stopped. Mark Zuckerberg's November 2022 mail set the template. They were laying off 11,000 people. He stated that he had assumed that the pandemic acceleration would stay forever and that he was wrong. Then came January 2023. A lot of people in tech started calling it the bloody January. Within 18 days, Amazon had cut 18,000 jobs, Microsoft 10,000, Google 12,000, and Salesforce 8,000. Every CEO issued the same apology: I take the full responsibility. And the one exception? Apple. Tim Cook had hired very conservatively. Also, he took a 40% pay cut, about $50 million, to make sure none of its employees are getting fired. So here's where the story takes a turn. By 2024, the COVID overhiring correction was already done. But then the layoffs should have stopped, right? No, they just accelerated. And the reason just changed. In 2022, the reason was, oh, we overhired. In 2024, it was restructuring. But by 2025, it was AI. The term AI started popping up everywhere. And not as a buzzword, but as a stated specific reason. In 2025, there were about 54,000 layoffs where companies cited AI as a reason. By Q1 2026, 1 in 5 layoffs mentioned either AI or automation as a reason. Whereas a year back, it was just 1 in 12. And in February 2026, Block, which is behind Square and Cash App, laid off 40% of their workforce, which is about 4,000 people. The CEO explicitly mentioned that it was not due to financial difficulty. It was about the AI tools that were able to do a lot more. Block's gross profit was 24% up that time. So it was choosing AI or humans. And they are not alone. Amazon cut 30,000 people across 2025 and 2026 while also investing 80 billion in AI infrastructure. Oracle laid off 20,000 to 30,000 people in March 2026 while announcing a 156 billion investment in AI data centers. Salesforce CEO said that they went from 9,000 support staff to 5,000. He said they needed less heads. Microsoft CEO said that 20 to 30% of all the code right now was being written by AI. Google CEO also said that 30% of their code was now written by AI. Microsoft CTO Kevin Scott expects 95% of all the code will be written by AI by 2030. So if AI is replacing workers, which workers? The pattern is very clear. So customer support is the one that's getting hit the most right now because this is the most automated category in tech right now with AI. Salesforce cut nearly half its support team. Software engineering is next. Sounds wrong, right? I mean, the people who are building AI is going to get replaced. But that's the truth. A Stanford and ADP survey stated that employment for engineers between 22 and 25 was down 20% since 2022. Entry-level job postings are down about 70%. If you're a junior dev right now, the job market is brutal. The middle management is also getting compressed. They want to flatten the hierarchies using AI coordination tools. QA and testing is getting highly automated. Recruiting and HR teams are getting slashed, and they are getting replaced by AI screening tools. And content creation is also getting replaced in marketing teams. While all these roles are being eliminated, the tech industry can't hire AI engineers fast enough. About 120,000 AI-related job roles were added in 2024 alone. AI job postings are up 340% since 2024. The median AI role salary is $150,000. Atlassian cut 1,600 people and also simultaneously hired 800 AI-related roles. That's a new math. Fewer total workers, but higher paid workers doing different things. But the problem is that 77% of all the AI roles need a master's degree. So that means the people who are getting laid off are not the people who are getting hired. So there is a real skill gap involved. So this is not a job transfer. And startups now account for a major chunk of the layoffs, unlike before when it was majorly the big tech. I want to slow down for a second because every number in this video is a real person. And the job search has become punishing. It takes about 5 to 6 months for a software engineer to find a job after layoff. Over half of the laid off workers send more than 50 job applications before getting hired. 1 in 5 of the laid off workers sent more than 100 job applications. Software developer job openings are down, and a quarter of all the US job listings on LinkedIn are ghost jobs. Listings where companies are not really planning to hire. Recent CS grads now face an unemployment rate which is similar to fine arts students. This is shocking because CS was supposed to be one of those degrees where it is the easiest to get a job, and the coding bootcamp industry has also collapsed. So, where does this go from here? I want to give both sides honestly. 2026 is on track to reach almost 270,000 tech layoffs. The average time to find a new job is now 4.7 months, which used to be 3.2 months in 2024. Harvard Business Review found that all the AI driven layoffs are based on the potential of AI and not proven performance. Companies are firing people thinking of what the AI might be able to do and not based on what it is actually doing today. and entry level job postings are down by 73%. Now, here's the hopeful signals. There are projections that the tech employment will still grow at 1.9% in 2026. The World Economic Forum predicts that a 92 million jobs will be displaced by 2030. But a new 170 million jobs will be created, which is a net gain of 78 million jobs. So, if AI makes making softwares 10 times cheaper, we might end up building 100 times more of it. That would mean more developer jobs, not less, but different kind of developer jobs. Also, there are a lot of reports on the companies who did layoff rehiring the same people because they realized the AI was not that effective enough, or they realized the laid off people were too valuable. And there are a lot of AI mess up stories coming up. If you want a detailed story on all of these topics, do subscribe and follow along. So, what should you really do if you are in tech right now? One, learn the AI tools in your field, whatever the field is. Not because it's a trend, because the people who are keeping their jobs are the people who are using AI to stay productive and not the ones who are ignoring. Two, shift towards roles that are growing. AI engineering, cybersecurity, cloud infrastructure, data engineering. These are the positions that are facing shortages right now. Three, build things that are visible. Open source contributions, personal projects, a portfolio that shows that you can ship. 4. Diversify your income. Tech workers can lose their jobs from an email sent at 6 a.m. Having all your financial eggs in the same corporate basket is a risk. And 5. Consider that the entry level pipeline is broken right now. A CS degree is still valuable, but no longer sufficient. You need to differentiate, specialize, contribute, build a track record even before you graduate. That's the number we started with. I want to end by putting it in context. Tech industry is not dying, it is being rebuilt. The companies that are laying off people are also investing billions of dollars into AI engineering, cloud, and infrastructure. The total number of tech jobs is still projected to grow, but the composition of this job is changing like never before. The dot-com bust destroyed companies. The 2008 crisis was a temporary down. The COVID overhiring was a fixable mistake. But this is a structural transformation. The question is whether this transition will happen without leaving an entire generation of tech workers behind. And based on what I have seen on this research, we're not there yet. I'm going deep into more topics like this, real data, no hype. If this video helped you understand what is happening in tech right now, hit subscribe.